Once the Cavs season ended in disappointment and a 5-game loss in the second round to the Indiana Pacers, analysts, journalists, fans, and the whole rest of the media, and including management, also started saying and giving suggestions of what the Cavaliers could do. And now the talk of the time is a familiar face, a big-time familiar face, and how the Cavs could get him back in a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. I'm Matt Palange here with Cavs Digest. Before we continue talking about what could happen with the Cavs, go and hit that subscribe button as you get literally all things Cavs, from rumors, injuries, trades, pre-game thoughts, post-game thoughts, lineup changes, everything small to everything major with the Cavs. We cover all the news and you won't miss anything. We won't miss anything to cover for you guys. So let's kind of talk about some things going on. I mean, obviously the rumors keep escalating with the Cavaliers, and now it's time to even get to the point where a familiar face who is at the end of his contract on a West Coast team could be returning to Cleveland, and how some analysts and some of the media have given their thoughts on how the Cavs could possibly bring him into a Cavaliers jersey. So let's start by talking about the man of the hour, Nick Wright. Very, very popular TV personality, covers the NFL, the NBA. He's very, very famous right now, or at least famous in the sports media world. Very, very well known, very renowned. He has suggested that the Cavaliers bring back a all-time legend, arguably the greatest player of all time, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time, and how he could return to his hometown, Ohio, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, that's LeBron James, and we're going to continue talking about LeBron James. But what did Nick Wright say about LeBron, and what LeBron James, and why LeBron James should return to the Cavaliers? And their starting small forward, much like other previous starting small forward, the starting small forward he's referring to is Max Strus. When they got down 3-1, sent a group text along the lines of, if you don't think we can do it, don't get on the plane. Those weren't the exact things Strus said, but that's in a sense of what Strus said. Now, the previous small forward responded to that by himself having the greatest 3-game stretch in the history of the league, referring to LeBron James' 3-1 comeback against the Warriors in the 2016 NBA Finals. This small forward responded to it by going 0 for 9 and scoring 0 points. Sorry, Max Strus, just go home, Bron. He's from the area. It's year 23. No one could say he's front running. They just haven't. In the entirety that the Cavs have existed, they've never been past a round 2, except for when he's been there and they lived in the finals, sportscaster Nick Wright said. Wow, he dropped a lot of name dropping there, referring to Max Strus, is how Max Strus and the lack of leadership that Strus kind of said by, if you're not ready to show up, you know, it's all the bark, no bite, basically, for Max Strus. How he kind of mentioned about, you know, if you're not going to show up, don't even hop on the plane. Of course, that's a big thing from Max Strus saying that, and that's really good leadership to say that, you know, guys, listen, we haven't shown up, let's show up now. But of course, he didn't do it, going 0 for 9, and that's something, you know, LeBron brings a lot to the table. It's not just his scoring capability or how good he is as a player. Yes, he's in his 40s. Yes, he's in year 23, but it's the leadership and being able to walk the walk, not just talk the talk like how Strus kind of did. And we kind of talked about the small forward situation a lot for Cleveland. It might take a little weird step because of the proposed trades that we have. I'm going to talk about that here now. So the main proposed trade that I saw, this is courtesy of Yahoo. Yahoo said, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, Bronny James for Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Hunter, a 2031 first-round pick. Wow, what a trade this is. That is a full, hard-hitting trade. And we've talked about Jarrett Allen a lot on this channel recently about his lack of play in the playoffs and his incapabilities of performing at the highest level, his lack of effort, his lack of strength, his lack of physicality. And that's one thing that I would love to see LeBron James and Jared Vanderbilt do for Cleveland, because it's not just LeBron here. I mean, we know LeBron is a player that brings a lot. I mean, this is him in his 40s, just absolutely sizing up defense, being able to do it all. He could do it all on the offensive side. He's very, very athletic. He's able to stretch out the floor now in his late career, and he's a phenomenal passer. But the one thing is that the Cavs have lacked is physicality. Yes, Donovan Mitchell is a great player. He is a very, very I was going to say a good leader, but it's kind of subjective if I think he's a good leader or not, because yes, he has good energy, but it's hard to say if he's a leader because they're so soft. And it's hard to, you know, if your best player isn't, you know, telling guys, can't we just like play stronger? Like, let's hit harder. Then it's hard to say he's a good leader. And that's one thing LeBron James brings a lot of. But the one thing about this is that there's a lot of things to break down other than just LeBron. Vanderbilt has proven to not be a soft guy. He's a very, very high-effort defender, actually. He hustles a lot on the court. I wish I had some highlights. I had one saved. It wasn't working. But anyways, Jared Vanderbilt is a very big hustler on defense, and that's really, really good to see. And also Bronny James, who the Cavs' lack of development on some of the younger guys recently, Amani Bates and Jalen Tyson, is a really, really lackluster. But Bronny James being under LeBron James could lead to having, you're going to get a lot of money out of it, but the main portion is how can they succeed. And I think having Bronny James there with his father, LeBron James, will help in the trade a lot. Of course, you have to give up a 2031 first-round pick, and can this trade even happen? It's hard to tell, but it's kind of just like, you get a young guy in Bronny James. Can he develop under LeBron James? And that's one big portion of the trade that I love, is that they can have a guy that can develop under his father. And I do like Bronny James's defense. I think his effort on defense, you see him in the G League and the NBA, he literally gives 150% on the defensive side. Yes, he might not be the most talented offensive player, but he is an elite defender. I mean, like, actually an elite defender. What we need, we have some good defenders who don't bring that effort and confidence on the court. I feel like Bronny James brings that, so that he could be a good bench piece if they develop him. Guys like Jalen Tyson and Amani Bates also need to develop, but that's a different story. And these two guys, obviously, the main portions of the trade, LeBron James and Jared Vanderbilt. LeBron James being the only man to bring a ring to the Cleveland Cavaliers in their history of their sport, being, what many people will say the greatest player of all time. In my opinion, he is, but that's a different argument, of course. Being the greatest player of all time and just being a hometown hero is how we've referred to him as. And, of course, the one thing he brings the most is physicality. And you can have him at the 3 and Vanderbilt at the 4 with Mobley at the 5. I feel like it'd be a solid lineup. LeBron James really hasn't had a strong center. Jackson Hayes is okay. He hasn't had the strong center, and the Lakers have needed that so bad. The whole Lakers need a center meme really picked up in the playoffs. So it could be cool to see a guy like Vanderbilt, Mobley, and LeBron James as that court. That would just be phenomenal to see with Mitchell and Ty Jerome, maybe it could be, or Darius Garland and Mitchell. Of course, I think we need a bigger backcourt, but that's a different story. And it would be these two Cavaliers. You see DeAndre Hunter in the background and Jarrett Allen. It'd be these two guys that get shipped off to LA. Of course, I'm not very happy with DeAndre Hunter being in that deal because I love DeAndre Hunter. But of course, you're getting a guy like LeBron, then you might have to deal with it there. LeBron makes the decisions around here, but it would be really, really good to see Jarrett Allen be replaced by LeBron and Vanderbilt, of course. Now, DeAndre Hunter, can you get a workaround to see if you can get rid of Strus, Okoro, Dean Wade, someone else to keep DeAndre Hunter? That would be an absolute treat, of course. But as of right now, it looks like the projected trade is DeAndre Hunter. But again, it's some crazy scenarios we have here. I mean, those are projected trades. Nick Wright, Yahoo. It's really, really starting to look like the pace of where LeBron James is going to go. Cleveland's the heavy favorite to get him. Of course, we've talked about the second apron. How possible is it to get him? I'm sure there's workarounds around the second apron, but we aren't 100% sure. I also made a video on how it looks like they're going to run it back. So even all these analysts might not be familiar with the second apron, or they're familiar with how you can work around it. So that's what it's looking like right now. Things are starting to pick up. Let's look at the value that LeBron James could bring to the court. 24 points in his, just at the age of 41 is just ridiculous. About to be 41. Just a good all-around scorer. I mean, 50 and 37 is actually really, really great splits on 8 rebounds a game, 8 assists. He brings so much. And again, the one biggest thing LeBron James is going to bring to the Cavaliers is leadership. Leadership and physicality. That's the one biggest thing he brings. And you can also get 20 points per game, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds out the guy. That would be huge. I think it could really improve Mitchell as well. Make Mitchell improve as a leader. And allow Mitchell to be an off-the-ball scorer, and then you're going to have LeBron has Austin Reeves, a guy that can score often on the ball. Donovan Mitchell could do that, but he's probably a better player than Austin Reeves for most people's metrics. So that advances a lot. So the questions I have for you guys is it possible for the Cavs to get LeBron? Do you guys want LeBron to be back in the Cavs in a Cavs jersey? For me, I would love to see LeBron back. This proposed trade, I'll show it to you one more time, of course, would be pivotal for the Cavaliers if they want to continue making a playoff run because like Nick Wright said, they have not made a run without him ever. And since he's been drafted, they haven't even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So it would be really, really cool to see him return. But I don't know if it's quite possible. But I love seeing what these analysts keep saying about the Cavs. Again, with the season being over, the rumors are just going to keep escalating. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button to keep up with every single rumor that we see. Even ones that you may not be able to see, we will make sure that you guys get all this information from. So thank you guys for joining me. And as always, thank you guys for joining me on Cavs Digest.